Are you able to see the screen?
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Okay. I was discussing about the applications of Ampere circuital law, and we have taken up and discussed finding the H bar equation, that is magnetic field intensity equation, due to infinitely long straight conductor using the Ampere circuital law. What is the definition of the Ampere circuital law, students? What is the statement of the Ampere circuital law? Can anybody recollect? Ampere circuital law, its equation or its definition, statement. Can anybody recollect what we discussed in the previous class? Statement is, or tell me the equation. Equation for Ampere circuital law. If you remember the equations, then you'll be able to write the statement. That is how you'll be able to define
H
or
bar
write.
dot
Yes.
H
Tell me.
bar dot dl bar is equals to I, sir.
Correct. It is closed line integral of h bar dot dl bar equal to I. This is the statement or mathematical representation of the Ampere circuital law. That is, it states that the magnetic field intensity of with a magnetic field intensity, the closed line integral of the magnetic field intensity with respect to the length is equal to the total current enclosed by that conductor. So if this is the conductor that we have considered in the last class, right? And then the total magnetic field intensity with respect to the length, we are calculating the total magnetic field intensity with respect to the length of this circular ring at the point P, correct? This is equal to the total current I enclosed, by the conductor, total current I flowing through the conductor or enclosed by the conductor. Okay, this is what the definition or the statement of the Ampere circuital law. From this, we have discussed in the last class for the infinitely long straight conductor. The next application of Ampere circuital law is H bar due to a coaxial cable. We are finding the magnetic field intensity H bar due to the coaxial cable using the Ampere circuital law. Here, consider the coaxial cable. This is a coaxial cable. The current flowing through the inner portion is I. This is the current flowing through the inner part of the conductor or the inner part of the coaxial cable. The inner radius is A. As you can see here, the inner radius is A. Then the current which is flowing in the outer portion, outer region of the coaxial cable is minus I. Here we are considering the coaxial cable in the differential mode, right? If we consider in the normal mode, then the current flowing through the conductor inner portion is I, the outer portion is grounded, that is a normal coaxial cable. But when we consider the differential mode of the coaxial cable, the current flowing through the inner portion, that is the central region, is I, and the current which is flowing in the outer region or the outer portion of the coaxial cable will be minus I. That is what is called as the differential mode. Okay. Now in this differential mode, the inner radius is A, the radius of the outer portion, inner surface, this is the outer portion, what you are seeing, outer portion, inner surface, its radius is B. Outer portion, outer radius, that is outer portion, the radius of the outer surface is C, right? And this coaxial cable is placed along the Z axis. This coaxial cable is placed along the Z axis. That means now the cable is placed along the Z axis means, any doubts?
ಸರ್ ವೀರೇಶ್ ಸರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ತಗೋತೀನಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಈಗ 2 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ. ಅವರು ಲೀವ್
ಹೌದ್ರಿ,
ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಈಗ.
ಹೌದ್ರಿ, ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ತಡ್ರಿ ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ. ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್. I'll inform them and come back. Don't quit yourselves. 1 minute. I have informed Viresh sir. Okay. Next, H bar due to a coaxial cable. Here inner radius and the outer radius we mentioned here. And then when we consider this coaxial cable, it is placed along the Z axis. We have discussed in the last class that when the conductor, whether it may be finite length conductor or infinite length conductor, when it is placed along the Z axis, the H bar, that is magnetic field intensity, will be always acting in the A5 bar direction. It will be acting in the A5 bar direction. There are three, that is coefficients, like for the that is say, one is Cartesian system, we have x, y, z, and for the cylindrical system we are having the coordinates r, phi and z. So the H bar will be acting along the A5 bar direction, that is tangential to the this closed surface, tangential to the closed surface. Okay, this is a cross sectional view that you are seeing here. Inner radius is A, then we have B and C. Okay, region 1, the area of cross section enclosed here, it is pi r square meter square. This is, we are considering the, that is finding the H bar for four regions of the coaxial cable. The first region is, we are considering r, radius r, which is less than the inner radius A. This is the inner radius A, and r, radius r of the coaxial cable, the region that we are considering is less than this, r less than A. Okay, as r is less than A, then the area of cross section enclosed, the area of the cross section enclosed is pi r square. That is the area of cross section of the circle, correct? It is pi r square meter square. The total current flowing is I through the area pi a square, through the area pi a square. Then here, if it is pi r square, what is the outer surface area? If the area of the inner radius r, it is, if its area is pi r square, what is the area of the outer surface or the inner conductor? Total area. Total area is pi into a square. A is the radius, then pi a square will be the total area. Okay. Hence, the current enclosed by the closed path is, given by I dash is equal to, so how to find the current I dash, which is enclosed by the closed path, that is with the radius r. Current flowing with the radius r, it is enclosed by this that is surface with the radius a, right? That is given by I dash is equal to, that is total area is pi a square. For that, for the total area pi a square, the current is I. Therefore, for pi r square, how much is the current? Yes, for the area pi a square, the current is I, total current is I for the inner surface. It is this surface A, right? The current flowing is I. Yes or no? Therefore, for the area pi r square, how much is the current? We have to just cross multiply. Pi r square into I divided by pi a square. Here pi and pi cancels, r square by a square into I. The H bar is again only in A5 bar direction, as I just now stated. H bar is in the A5 bar direction because it is tangential to the closed surface, and hence H bar is equal to H5 A5 bar. H bar is equal to H5 A5 bar. It is existing only in the A5 bar direction, tangential to the circular region. So if we want to find the DL bar, we have to here use the Ampere circuital law. Ampere circuital law equation is closed line integral H bar dot DL bar. Therefore, it is must that we have to find the DL bar. DL bar in the A5 bar direction, it is given by R into D5. This also we calculated in the previous class. Here the angle subtended, if it is D5 and the radius is R, the arc length is given by radius multiplied by the angle, that is DL is R into D5. That is DL bar, we got it as R into D5. The R D5 is the magnitude. What about the vector? If you want the vector, then we have to consider the unit vector. Unit vector along the D5 bar direction is A5 bar, and hence the vector DL bar is equal to R D5 A5 bar. R D5 A5 bar. Next, find out the dot product of H bar and DL bar. Dot product of H bar and DL bar. H bar dot DL bar is equal to H5 A5 bar dot R D5 A5 bar. Here A5 bar dot A5 bar, it is 1. A5 bar dot A5 bar is 1. Therefore, what remains? H phi R d phi. H phi R d phi. According to the Ampere circuital law, closed line integral of H bar dot dl bar is equal to I dash. That is, closed line integral of the magnetic field intensity with respect to the length is equal to the total current I enclosed by that conductor. Total current in the conductor is I dash. It is not I, because we are considering for the radius R, not for the radius A, right? If it is for radius A, then it is I, this current I, but we are considering for radius R, hence it is I dash that we have considered here, I dash. Okay, so this is the current enclosed according to the Ampere circuital law. So the closed line integral of H bar dot dl bar, H bar dot dl bar is H phi R d phi. That is closed line integral of H phi R d phi. This is equal to I dash. What is I dash? I dash is equal to R square I by A square. I dash is equal to R square I by A square. Write it R square I by A square. Then take the integration. That is, as it is a closed line integral, therefore it has to be integrated from phi equal to 0 to phi equal to 2 pi. H phi R d phi, that is equal to R square by A square into I, or R square I by A square. Whether in whatever way it is convenient for you all, remember in that way. You can remember it as R square I by A square or R square by A square into I. Okay. But if you remember it as R square by A square into I, you have to be very much confident and very much sure about that. Otherwise, remember it as R square into I by A square. That would be more clear. R square I by A square. If we integrate this, then we'll get H phi R is constant, take it outside. Integration of d phi with respect to phi is phi. Then over the limits 0 to 2 pi. This comes out to H phi R 2 pi. This is equal to R square I by A square. Therefore, H phi will be equal to R square I divided by 2 pi R A square. H phi will be equal to R square I divided by 2 pi R. I have taken this 2 pi R to the denominator of the RHS. That is, here R and R will cancel. Therefore, we get Ri divided by 2 pi A square. Ri divided by 2 pi A square. Therefore, H bar will be equal to, we know that H bar is, here we have written in this equation, H bar is equal to H phi A phi bar. H bar is H phi A phi bar. Therefore, substitute for H phi. H phi is Ri divided by 2 pi A square into A phi bar ampere per meter. This is for the region where R is less than A within the conductor. Okay, so this derivation is important from examination point of view. They're asking the application of Ampere circuital law or deriving the equation for magnetic field intensity due to infinitely long state conductor using Ampere circuital law, or they may ask this part, that is, derive the equation for H bar due to a coaxial cable starting from the Ampere circuital law. This has been repeated many times in the examination. Then next we'll consider the second region. If the radius R is considered for the region between A and B, right? It is in between A and B. We'll come to the main figure. It is in between A and B. Okay, that is the radius here. That means it is enclosing the current I. It is enclosing the current I, right? As the region encloses the current I, this is similar to the infinitely long straight conductor placed along the z-axis, right? If we consider the radius R, which is more than A and less than B, right? That is nothing but as good as it is enclosing the current I. When it is enclosing the total current I and carrying this total current I, it means that it is infinitely long state conductor placed along the z-axis, and hence we have already derived the equation for the infinitely long state conductor placed along the z-axis, and it has come out to H bar is equal to I by 2 pi R A phi bar ampere per meter. This equation we have already derived, need not derive it once again, so you just retain it as it is. H bar is equal to I by 2 pi R A phi bar ampere per meter. This is for the region where R is in between A and B. That is R greater than A and less than B. Then moving on to the region 3. Right? I hope everybody are following here. Any doubts up till now? Any doubts? Any questions up till now?
No, sir, following.
Okay. Next, take up the region 3 within outer conductor. Within the outer conductor here. That means now we are considering the region R is greater than b and less than c. R, radius r, whatever we are considering, it is greater than b and less than c. I'll show in the main figure. R is greater than b, right? Greater than this outer surface inner portion, and it is less than the outer surface outer region, outer surface, outer region, outer surface. Okay. R is greater than b but less than c, so it comes in between b and c. The surface will come in between b and c. Fine. When this is the region, then the current enclosed by the closed path is only part of the current minus I. Now, when we are considering the outer portion here, the current carried by this is minus I, because it is made to work in the differential mode, right? Therefore, as it is minus I, the total current enclosed by the closed path is only part of the current minus I, because we are considering the radius which is greater than b and less than c, and hence the current enclosed by that is only portion of the total current minus I. Where is minus I existing? It is in between b and c, the total portion between b and c, that is minus I. But we are considering a region which is less than the total portion between b and c. It is radius r greater than b and less than c. Therefore, it is just a portion of the current minus I. The total current minus I is flowing through the cross section. The total current minus I flows through the cross section here. If we look into this figure, total current flowing is pi into c square minus b square. The area of cross section is given by, it's a circle, the area of cross section is pi r square. The radius is, effective radius is pi into this one c square minus the inner portion b square. It is pi into c square minus b square. Yes, pi into c square minus b square. That is the region that we are considering here. Okay, that is a total region, right? Outer region, total cross section is pi into c square minus b square. Then one more surface we are considering, that is the what we are supposed to calculate h bar for that surface, that is with the radius r, right? If we consider this radius r, then it is pi into r square minus b square. Simple. Radius of this surface, whatever we are considering, that is the Amperian path, is r square. Then radius of the inner surface is b square, so it is pi into r square minus b square. Okay. I have written here pi into r square minus b square. Hence, the current enclosed by the closed path of outer conductor. Current enclosed by closed path of the outer conductor is, what is the current enclosed by the closed path of outer conductor? It is I dash. Again, we are considering it as I dash. The region that we are considering with the radius r, its current is I dash. That is, I dash is given by pi into, how do we get this formula? That is main current. Main current is pi into c square minus b square, its cross section. For this cross section, the total current is minus I. Therefore, for the cross section, pi into r square minus b square. For this, how much is the current? Cross multiply. Pi into r square minus b square into minus I divided by pi into c square minus b square. This will be equal to minus of pi and pi cancels, minus of r square minus b square into I divided by c square minus b square. Here, this region, what we are considering, that is with the radius r, it is also enclosing the inner current. Just I will consider with the main figure here. Here, the radius r we are considering with the outer portion, that is enclosing the inner region, inner current I. Okay, that means net current is the current what we are finding here I dash plus this current I. That will give us the total current. Okay, and for that we have to find the magnetic field intensity. Yes. So I double dash is equal to I, that is current in the inner conductor enclosed. Therefore, total current enclosed by the closed path is I enclosed is equal to this current what we found out for the formula I dash plus I double dash, that is current, that is equal to I, that is a current in the inner conductor enclosed. This is equal to minus of r dash minus r square minus b square divided by c square minus b square into I plus this current I, that is I double dash. Therefore, if we take I common, it will be 1 minus of r square minus b square divided by c square minus b square. This is I into c square minus b square is a LCM. Therefore, c square minus b square into 1 is c square minus b square minus of r square plus b square. B square and minus b square will cancel. We get in the numerator c square minus r square, and denominator is the LCM, that is c square minus b square. Okay. Now, according to the Ampere circuital law, we know that closed line integral of h bar dot dl bar is equal to I enclosed, and hence, if we substitute whatever we have found out here, I enclosed and h bar and dl bar equations. Now, h bar is again in the a phi bar direction, and hence it is h bar is equal to h phi a phi bar, and dl bar is equal to again the same thing, r d phi a phi bar. Therefore, h bar dot dl bar is equal to h phi a phi bar dot r d phi a phi bar, that is h phi a phi bar dot d phi bar is 1, it is unity, dot product of unit vector with itself is unity, it is the 1, h phi r d phi we will get here. Therefore, line integral, closed line integral 0 to 2 pi h, that is h bar dot dl bar is h phi r d phi, this is equal to I enclosed. Then h phi r 2 phi, h phi r d phi, this is, if we integrate, we will get from the limit 0 to 2 pi of phi, that is h pi r 2 pi, this is equal to I enclosed. I enclosed equation is I into c square minus r square divided by c square minus b square. Substitute that, therefore h phi will be equal to I divided by 2 pi r into c square minus r square divided by c square minus b square. Therefore, h bar will be equal to, what is h bar? It is h phi into a phi bar. Here, this equation, h bar is equal to h phi a phi bar. That is, h phi is I divided by 2 pi r into c square minus r square divided by c square minus b square, or you can remember it as I into c square minus r square divided by 2 pi r into c square minus b square, so that you will not go wrong in remembering the equation. Multiplied with a phi bar ampere per meter. This is for the region R in between B and C. Is R greater than B and less than C. Similarly, the last region, that is region 4, this is outside the cable, R greater than C. Here, if we come to the main figure, R greater than C, this is our cable, coaxial cable. We are considering the radius more than the actual radius of the cable, R greater than C. If it is R greater than C, then it is enclosing the current minus I and also plus I. Therefore, the total current will be I plus of minus I minus I will be 0, right? Therefore, the total current or the net current is 0 for the region R greater than C. Consider the closed path R greater than C such that it encloses both the current, that is plus I and minus I. Thus, the total current is I enclosed is equal to plus I minus I, that is equal to 0 ampere. Therefore, the closed line integral of h bar dot dl bar is equal to 0, because I enclosed is 0. The closed line integral of h bar dot dl bar is equal to I enclosed, that is 0 ampere. Therefore, h bar, that magnetic field intensity, is 0 ampere per meter. Okay. If the integral is 0, then the function will be 0. H bar is equal to 0 ampere per meter for the region R greater than C. What it indicates here? This indicates that there is no magnetic field existing outside the coaxial cable. Right? Outside the coaxial cable, there is no magnetic field existing. This is a derivation for the application of the Ampere circuital law for finding the magnetic field intensity due to the coaxial cable. Okay. Just practice this derivation. Next, we will move on to one more concept called as curl. Okay, this we have studied in our module 1. Curl is nothing but the cross product del cross H or del cross E, whatever it is, that we call as the curl. Right? Let us try to find the equation for the curl here. Considering the magnetic field intensity, we will be deriving the equation for the curl. Consider the differential surface element. This is a differential surface element. I hope there is no doubts in this portion, in the derivation that we did just now. Any doubts here, students? Any questions on this part? H bar due to a coaxial cable. Any questions here?
No, sir.
Any difficulty?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay, right. Consider the differential surface element. Here we are considering a small portion of the differential surface. It's a surface. That means we are considering the area here. Right? It's a differential surface element with the sides delta x and delta y. This side is delta x and this is delta y. The unknown current which is flowing through this surface, that it is producing the magnetic field intensity h bar at the center of this differential surface element. The current which is flowing through this surface, differential surface, it is producing the magnetic field intensity H bar exactly at the center region of the differential surface element. The total magnetic field density at the point P, which is center of the small rectangle. This is a small rectangle, a small differential surface element. The magnetic field intensity at the point P here, at the central region, at the center point, it is given by H bar is equal to Hx naught Ax bar plus Hy naught Ay bar plus Hz naught Az bar. Hx naught is with respect to the origin, right? It is in the x direction, it is Hx naught, x component with respect to Ax bar, and y component is Hy naught, it is with respect to the origin. Then Hz naught, again it is with respect to the origin, Hz naught Ax bar, Az bar. The total current density is given by J bar is equal to Jx Ax bar plus Jy Ay bar plus Jz Az bar. Okay, this is the total current density. What is the equation for total current density? How to define current density? Current density is current per unit area. Is it not? Current per unit area is the current density. The current density is given by the x component Jx into Ax bar, y component Jy into Ay bar, plus z component Jz into Az bar. Let us apply the Ampere circuital law to the closed path to evaluate the closed line integral of H bar. Here we will be applying the Ampere circuital law through the closed path ABCDA. Through the closed path ABCDA, we are applying the Ampere circuital law and finding the magnetic field intensity through the closed path. Okay. According to the right hand thumb rule, now we consider the right hand thumb rule. Okay. If the current direction is in the clockwise direction, okay, the curl of your fingers, it is indicating the what current direction, then the direction of the magnetic field intensity will be along the thumb, along the direction of the thumb, right? The direction of the curl of your fingers indicates the direction of the current, and the direction of the thumb indicates the direction of the magnetic field intensity. It is along the z direction here. The curl indicates the current direction, curl of the fingers, whereas the thumb direction is pointing towards the z direction, and hence the direction of the magnetic field intensity is along the z direction. It is along the Az bar direction. According to right hand thumb rule, the current is in the Az bar direction. The magnetic field intensity is in the Az bar direction. Along the path A to B, H bar is equal to Hy Ay bar. Along the path here A to B, it is H bar is equal to H bar, that is magnetic field intensity, it is H bar is equal to Hy Ay bar. We are considering along y direction, so it is H bar into Ay bar, right? That is the magnetic field intensity is Hy, and that is the unit vector is Ay. Okay, H bar is equal to Hy Ay bar. The differential length dl bar is equal to, it is along the y direction, delta y Ay bar, delta y Ay bar. Delta y is the magnitude, Ay bar is the unit vector. Therefore, H bar dot dl bar is equal to Hy Ay bar dot delta y Ay bar. Ay bar dot Ay bar is 1. Therefore, we will get Hy delta y. Hy delta y. That is H bar dot dl bar. The intensity Hy along A to B can be expressed in terms of Hy naught. The intensity Hy, it is expressed in terms of the Hy naught, that is at the point P, and one more component of H bar, that is from the point P towards the midpoint of the A to B line. Okay, this H bar magnetic field intensity, it is having two components. One component is, that is what is existing at the center, that is Hx naught, right? Another component is what is existing at the center, that is Hy naught, due to the y path here, y line, and plus the component that is existing from the midpoint, that is center point to the midpoint of the line AB, right? So this portion, that is from the midpoint, center point P to the midpoint of the line AB, right? This is how much? This is the rate of change of the other component. What we are considering here is Hy along the y direction. So other component is, with respect to other component, it will be dou Hy by dou x, right? That is dou Hy by dou x, and the length, the perpendicular distance from the center point to the midpoint of AB, it is delta x by 2. delta x is this length, this divided by 2, because it is exactly bisecting, or the diagonals are bisecting here. Therefore, this is exact midpoint of the rectangle, diagonals of the rectangle, and hence we consider this midpoint, center point to the midpoint of the line AB. It will be delta x by 2. It is this length divided by 2. Therefore, I will write it as the distance intensity hy along AB can be expressed in terms of hy naught existing at P and the rate of change of hy in the x direction with x. Now, rate of change of hy in the x direction is dou hy by dou x with x. With respect to x means you have to take this perpendicular distance, that is delta x by 2. Delta x divided by 2. Therefore, the equation will be h bar dot dl bar of A to B, of the length A to B. This is equal to hy naught, this at the center midpoint, point P, center point, plus delta x by 2 dou hy by dou x. That is this equation we have to consider. H dot dl bar, that is, this is what we are finding is hy. Okay, hy into h bar dot dl bar with respect to AB, it is hy delta y. Hy is this total hy naught plus delta x by 2 dou hy by dou x into delta y. Okay, take it as equation number 4. Now, similarly for the path B to C, for the path B to C here, this path, now what will be the path here? This path B to C, whether it is delta, it is along the x direction or y direction. The path B to C, whether it is in the x direction or y direction. See here, this A to B, it is along the y direction. This is AY, unit vector, or the direction y here, right? It is from left to right. The path A to B, it is along the y direction. Now, if I consider the path B to C, it is along the which direction? Whether it is plus x or minus x. This is plus x, it is pointing in this direction. See the arrow mark. You have to look at the arrow mark in finding the direction. The arrow mark is downward here, A to x. Now, if I consider A to C, that is this direction, B to C here, it is opposite to A to x. That means it is along minus which direction? Minus x direction? Yes, minus ax direction. So, the path B to C h bar is in minus ax bar direction. Hence, minus hx ax bar. Its magnitude will be minus hx. Unit vector is ax bar. This is a vector. If we consider only the magnitude is just hx, minus hx. But when we consider the vector, it will be minus hx ax bar. And the length is dl bar is equal to delta x ax bar. This is the length, delta x. And the vector is unit vector ax bar. Therefore, h bar dot dl bar, take the dot product h bar dot dl bar. This is minus hx ax bar dot delta x ax bar dot ax bar is 1. Therefore, it will be minus hx delta x. Now, hx can be expressed again as we expressed for the previous one. Hx can be expressed in terms of hx naught at the point P due to this delta x plus the component from the center point P to the midpoint of the line B to C. Right, from the center point P to the midpoint of the line B to C. That means we have to differentiate. Now, x is what we have considered. Take it the other one remaining is y. Therefore, dou hx by dou y into this perpendicular distance is how much? This is along the y direction here. Correct? This perpendicular distance, if we take, it is along the y direction. This will be delta y by 2. Delta y by 2. This from A to B, it is delta y. It is in the midpoint. We are considering half the distance. So, from this point P towards the midpoint of B to C, it will be perpendicular distance delta y by 2. That is, now hx can be expressed in terms of hx naught at point P and rate of change of hx in y direction with y. That is, hx is equal to hx naught plus dou hx by dou y delta y by 2. That is hx in y direction with y. So, hx in y direction rate of change is dou hx by dou y. We have to consider the other coordinate hx. We are considering along x direction. The other one is y. Therefore, it is dou hx with respect to dou y into the perpendicular distance is delta y by 2. The distance of BC from P is delta y by 2. Now, find the dot product h bar dot dl bar of B to C. Here we have already written the equation. That is, it is equal to, here it is, that is the equation minus of whatever we have found out here, hx naught, here it is hx, that is delta minus hx ax bar, here it is minus hx ax bar, sorry, minus hx delta x, minus hx delta x. Therefore, dot product of h bar dot dl bar, this will be equal to, this will be equal to minus of hx, hx is what we have found out just now, okay, that is minus of hx naught plus delta y by 2 dou hx by dou y into delta x, right? Take it as equation number 6. Then for the path next c to d, for the path c to d, here for the path c to d, what we will get for the path c to d, whether it is along the y direction or plus x or minus x, whatever it is, tell me what is the direction between c to d. What is the direction between C to D, whether it is along plus Y or minus Y? Yes, please. C to D is whether it is plus Y or minus Y. See the direction from origin, this is if we consider as origin, at the intersection of X, Y and Z axis, from the origin to Y it is from left to right, that is plus Y. If we want take in the other direction, opposite direction, see the arrow marks here, A to B, arrow mark, B to C, it is in the upper direction, C to D, it is from right to left, it is from right to left. So whether it is plus Y or minus Y, C to D, from origin to Y, it is from left to right, from C to D, it is right to left, so it is plus Y or minus Y.
Minus y.
Minus Y, exactly, it is minus Y, because it is from right to left, it is opposite to that of origin to Y. Okay, this is from left to right, origin to Y, whereas this is from right to left, hence it will be minus of Y, right? That is the next one. From C to D, next we will consider C to D. H bar is in minus AY bar direction, that is minus Y direction, that is minus HY AY bar, and DL bar will be equal to delta Y AY bar. Therefore, H bar dot DL bar will be equal to, when we take the dot product of this with this, that is minus HY AY bar dot of delta Y AY bar dot AY bar, it will be 1. Therefore, it will be minus HY delta Y, minus HY delta Y. Again, HY can be expressed in terms of HY naught. Again, HY can be expressed in terms of HY naught, and the component from the center point P to the midpoint of C to D, the perpendicular distance. Now, which direction we have taken? Minus AY. The other direction is X. So, differentiate dou HY with respect to other direction, that is X. Dou HY by dou X. And this perpendicular distance from the center point P to the midpoint between C to D is delta X by 2. Delta X divided by 2. Correct? Hence, we will get here HY can be expressed in terms of HY naught, and rate of change of HY in negative X direction. It is the distance of CD from point P is delta X by 2 in negative X direction. Please note that it is in negative X direction. Okay, because here what we are considering, from point P we are moving away towards the point C to D. But what is the X direction? It is from the origin downwards. We are considering from point P upward toward the midpoint of C to D. Hence, it is in the negative X direction. This is important. Okay, you should not forget the sign here. I hope everyone are following here. Any difficulty up till now? Any difficulty, yes, friends, up till now? Everyone are following here?
Yes, sir, following.
Okay. The distance of CD from point P is delta X by 2 in negative X direction. Therefore, HY will be equal to HY naught minus delta X by 2 dou HY by dou X. HY naught. Okay, it is HY naught minus delta X by 2 dou HY by dou X. HY can be expressed in terms of HY naught here. This is H bar dot DL bar. This is okay, right here. Minus HY delta Y. This is clear to you all. Right? How we got this? And next here, the perpendicular distance is also negative here. we got in minus ay bar direction, is it not? First we wrote that equation. Again, the midpoint from the center point P to the midpoint of C to D, that is also in the negative direction. Okay, so that is different, and the original whatever minus ay we wrote, that is different. Okay, both are not the same. One is the unit vector that we are writing, that is h bar dot dl bar. Another one is the perpendicular distance. So hy will be equal to hy naught minus dou hy by dou x into delta x by 2. Now substitute in this equation, h bar dot dl bar with respect to C to D is minus of hy delta y. Minus of hy is this equation, whatever you have written here, hy naught minus delta x by 2 dou hy by dou x into delta y. This is for path C to D, take it as equation 8. Next, the last path for the path D to A. For the path D to A here, it is moving along the D to A direction. Can anybody tell me it is in which direction? Whether it is in AX direction or AY direction? From D to A. Yes, students, come on, tell me. D to A, whether it is along AX bar direction or AY bar direction. Think and tell me.
AY bar, sir.
Just think. D to A. See here, this is the direction. It is moving downward. This is also moving downward. It's along the same parallel lines. Correct? So it is which direction? AX or AY? This is D to A. It is moving downward. From origin to X, it is also moving downward. The same direction. They are, see the arrow mark. You have to be looking at the arrow mark. So it is in which direction? AX or AY?
AX.
AX, exactly, AX. It is plus AX because D to A is also in the downward direction. Origin to X is also in the downward direction. So it is plus AX. Okay. So it is h bar dot dl bar for the point between D to A. Between D to A, it is plus AX bar direction. Hence, magnitude is hx. It is along the unit vector AX bar, and dl bar will be delta x AX bar. Then take the dot product. H bar dot dl bar is equal to hx AX bar dot delta x AX bar. AX bar dot x bar is unity. Therefore, we get simply hx delta x. But hx can be again expressed in terms of hx naught, right? And now we are considering hx. The other coordinate is hy. Therefore, dou hx by dou y, and the perpendicular distance from the center point P to the midpoint of this A to D. It is which direction? Minus y direction. See the direction here. Center point P to the midpoint of A to D, it is minus y direction. Therefore, it will be minus delta y by 2, not plus delta y by 2. Right? That is for the region D to A. It is distance dA from point P is delta y by 2 in the negative y direction. Therefore, hx will be equal to hx naught minus delta y by 2 dou hx by dou y. Therefore, the h bar dot dl bar D to A is, here we have written the main equation. That is h bar dot dl bar is equal to hx delta x. Hx is this equation, hx naught minus delta y by 2 dou hx by dou y into delta x. Take it as equation number 10. Okay. Total h bar dot dl bar can be obtained by adding the above equations. So you have to just add these equations, whatever we have got for A to B h bar dot dl bar, then B to C h bar dot dl bar, then C to D h bar dot dl bar, and D to A h bar dot dl bar. When we add all these, then we will get hy naught delta y plus delta x delta y by 2 dou hy by dou x minus hx naught delta x minus delta x delta y by 2 dou hx by dou y minus hy naught delta y plus delta x delta y by 2 dou hy by dou x plus hx naught delta x minus delta x delta y by 2 dou hx by dou y. Then simplify this. What will cancel here? Hy naught delta y minus hy naught delta y will cancel. Minus hx naught delta x plus hx naught delta x will cancel. Then what is remaining? Delta x delta y by 2 dou hy by dou x. Then same here, delta x delta y by 2 dou hy by dou x. So it is 2 times. 2 times means this 2 and 2 will cancel. We'll get only delta x delta y dou hy by dou x. Similarly, minus delta x delta y by 2 dou hx by dou y minus delta x delta y by 2 dou hx by dou y. It will be minus 2 times 2 and 2 will cancel. We'll get simply minus delta x delta y dou hx by dou y. If we take delta x delta y common in these two, then we'll get delta x delta y into the bracket dou hy by dou x minus dou hx by dou y. This is a simplification of the above equation. Fine. According to the Ampere's circuital law, this integral must be the total current enclosed. We know that the closed line integral of h bar dot dl bar is equal to the total current I enclosed by the conductor. And this current enclosed, it is given by the product of current density and the area of the closed path. Okay. The current density is Jz, it is along the z direction, right, multiplied by the area of the closed path. It is delta x into delta y, the area here. Delta x into delta y is the area of the rectangle. We know that current density is current per unit area, or current is equal to current density into area. Therefore, I enclosed is equal to current density multiplied by the area, and area is delta x into delta y, where Jz is a current density in Az bar direction, as the current enclosed is in the Az bar direction. Now, from the equations 11 and 12, from these previous two equations, we can write, look at the equations, that is closed line integral h bar dot dl bar. If we take this delta x delta y to the denominator of LHS, it will be closed line integral h bar dot dl bar divided by delta x delta y. This is equal to dou hy by dou x minus dou hx by dou y. This is equal to Jz, right? Because current density is the current per unit area. Current is the closed line integral h bar dot dl bar, that is a current, that is equal to I according to our Ampere circuital law. Current per unit area, that is delta x delta y, okay, that is equal to Jz, right? This gives exact result because here we have to consider the area as it shrinks to 0. We are considering at a point, single point, as we considered the divergence theorem, right? When we applied the, in electrostatics, the Gauss law, right, there we found out for the, in the divergence theorem, for a single point when the volume shrinks to 0, right? Here, using the electromagnetics, in the electromagnetics, we are applying the Ampere circuital law, and we are finding the, for the area that shrinks to 0, what will be the equation for the magnetic field intensity. This gives accurate result, exact result, as the area delta x delta y tends to 0. Therefore, the area tends to 0 means we have to apply the limits. Limit as delta x delta y tends to 0. The closed line integral h bar dot dl bar divided by delta x delta y. This is equal to dou hy by dou x minus dou hx by dou y. That is equal to Jz. This equation gives the relation between the line integral, right, per unit area and the current density Jz. This is given by the equation 14. Okay. Now let us apply the limit as delta. Similarly, as we applied for delta x delta y, if we consider the other two coordinates, here we have considered delta x and delta y. Now, if I consider the other two coordinates, delta y and delta z, right, the equation will be symmetric. Only instead of delta x delta y, we have to replace them by delta y and delta z. Similarly, I can consider the other two coordinates, delta y delta z, delta x delta y delta z, delta z delta x, right? Those are remaining. When we apply the same concept to the other coordinates, then I will get limit as delta y delta z tends to 0. Here we have, this will remain same, line integral h bar dot dl bar divided by delta x delta y. Instead of delta x delta y, you will be having delta y delta z. This is delta y delta z. This is equal to, this is dou hy by dou x, y with respect to s. Here it will be z with respect to y, then x with respect to y, it is same, so it will be y with respect to z. It is cyclic, symmetric. We have to just write the equation, not necessary to derive these equations. That is our equation number 15. Similarly, for delta z delta x coordinates, limit as delta z delta x tends to 0, the closed line integral h bar dot dl bar divided by delta z delta x. Instead of x and y, here I am having delta z delta x. This will be equal to the first term here. What is the first term? This is delta y, so it is dou hy by this. Second by first, dou hy by dou x. Here it will be second by first means dou hx by dou z. Second term is x, first term is z, dou hx by dou z, minus of then x with respect to y. First term with respect to second term, x with respect to y. That is minus dou hz divided by dou x. First term with respect to second term. This is equal to jy. As we are getting here, when we consider x and y, we are getting the z, current density in the z direction, right? Jz. Then we consider y and z, it is cyclic. Y, z, x. X, y, z, x. Okay. When we consider y, z, the next one is x. So we will be getting the current in the x direction. Then we consider the other coordinate, that is z to x. Okay. Z, x, y. Then the field in current density will be in the y direction, that is jy. Take it as equation number 16. Now we can generalize this equation. Instead of writing delta x, delta y, or delta y, delta z, we can generalize it as limit of closed line integral h bar dot dl bar divided by delta Sn, as delta Sn tends to 0, that is equal to Jn, where Jn is the current density normal to the surface delta S. The term on LHS, whatever is this term on the LHS, this is called as the curl h bar. This equation, that is limit of closed line integral h bar dot dl bar divided by delta Sn, as delta Sn tends to 0. This term is called as curl h bar. The delta Sn is the area enclosed by the line integral. The total j bar is obtained. If you want a total j bar, then we have to sum the equation number 14, 15, and 16, the previous equations. That is for the jz, then jx, jy. Therefore, the net equation will be the resultant equation. J bar will be equal to the x component with respect to ax bar, jx ax bar, plus y component with respect to ay bar, jy ay bar, plus z component with respect to az bar, that is jz az bar. Therefore, j bar will be equal to, now take the, again write it in terms of jx, right? Jx, what we have got here, this is x, jx is here. Dou hz by dou y minus dou hy by dou z into ax bar. Then jy, jy is here, it is here. Dou hx by dou z minus dou hz by dou x into ay bar, plus the jz. Jz is this one, dou hy by dou x minus dou hx by dou y into az bar. So finally, we can write the equation as j bar is equal to curl h bar, or that is del cross h bar. This is the equation of the curl of the, that is h bar. Okay, we know that del is given by dou x, right? Dou by dou x plus dou by dou y plus dou by dou z. Then h bar is hx ax bar plus hy ay bar plus hz az bar. When we take the cross product, we will get dou hz, whatever it is, this component x component into x bar plus this component into ay bar plus this component into az bar. Hence we say that j bar is equal to curl h bar, that is equal to del cross h bar. That is our equation, whatever we are getting for this j bar, that is the current density equation. The curl h bar is indicated by del cross h bar, which is the cross product of the operator del and h bar. This equation, curl h bar, that is del cross h bar, is equal to j bar, is also called as the point form of Ampere's circuital law. It is called as point form of Ampere's circuital law. The actual Ampere's circuital law is, the main equation is the closed line integral of h bar dot dl bar is equal to total current I. This is our Ampere's circuital law. But this equation, curl h bar is equal to del cross h bar, that is equal to j bar, this is called as point form of Ampere's circuital law, and it is one of the Maxwell's equations. We have different Maxwell's equations, Maxwell's equation 1, 2, 3. This is one among the Maxwell's equation, that is curl h bar is equal to del cross h bar is equal to j bar. Fine. In examination, the possible question on this curl will be like find the equation or derive the equation for the point form of Ampere's circuital law, or they will be giving you the equation here, derive the equation curl h bar is equal to del cross h bar is equal to j bar. So you have to recollect which equation is this. That is, this is the equation for the curl, right? Whatever we have discussed, it is the topic on curl. You have to recollect that, and accordingly you have to derive the equation. Okay. So this question may carry around 8 or 10 marks question. It is the full complete derivation. Any difficulty here, students, in these derivations? In the curl, any difficulty here in the topic that we discussed just now? Any problem in understanding in this curl?
No, sir, not difficult.
Clear, right, to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. Other students, what about other students? Pallavi, is it clear? Derivations of curl and the first one that we derived. Is it clear, the derivation part here? That is for the application
Yes,
of
sir.
Ampere's circuital law, and the one more curl we derived. Curl equation. Okay. Vishal Vasulkar.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Clear,
Clear.
right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. What about other students? Deepa Rathod. Is it understood today's derivations, Deepa?
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
Okay. Ankita, is it clear? Ankita, understood the derivations?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ilyas Ahmad,
Yes, sir. Understood.
understood. Okay. In the next class, we'll take up examples on curl, right? Few examples we'll solve, and then we'll move on to the next topic. Okay. Thank you, students.